All right. Hi, everybody. I'm in a terrible location in terms of lighting, so I apologize. And I'm cleaning up my downstairs art room, getting it ready for the winter season to do my classes and stuff because I get kind of kicked out of my chicken coop. So you're seeing it in its raw element. So forgive me. We got a lot of things we're going through and getting rid of some crafting supplies. So figured why not? Just see me in my real element. Because, crafting space is always evolving. It's always evolving. As you can see, I got my chair ready. I got some fabric here. I'm going through all my extra supplies. I got more supplies. And hopefully I'm getting a new table soon, so that'll help me do some cool stuff down here. Again, I used to use this area a lot during COVID, but you would usually see the wall that you can't see. That's all my pictures. But I said today, I'm gonna let you see the real deal. I'm gonna let you see the other wall where I keep all my goodies. So today, I'm gonna be doing a quick little lesson. I'm hoping it's super simple for you. I don't think it's too crazy. That we only have, for those of you who do my art Zoom, we only have 3 art sessions in December. Boo! Because we always do it on Wednesdays, and the last Wednesday of the month is Christmas. And no offense, I get it. You all want to spend time with your family. But our December calendar is out with all your materials. I'll be updating the website hopefully today. But today I'd like to throw in a little extra lesson. And we're going to do a very quick lesson on how to use line and color to create really cool designs that give you the impression of an actual object. And we're going to make holiday lights. You could do this on cards. You can do this on a big piece of paper. Right here, I'm using a small pad. But you can just keep doing this and doing this and doing this. We're going to work with a Sharpie and watercolors today. And if you're working with watercolors, you definitely are going to want to use a permanent marker. Don't use the Crayola. No offense to the Crayola washable, but it could, if you get water on it, it will spread. It's water soluble, water washable. But the Sharpies are your friends when you're doing kind of funky stuff with watercolors. So Sharpie, watercolor, mixed media or watercolor paper. Cardstock might work because we're not oversaturating the paper. You're going to need some brushes and some water. And if you want, you can use some paper towels. Keep them handy to clean your brushes. And if you have any, if something's overly wet, you can blot it as well. But I think we're going to be doing not too bad today. So simple stuff that you should have right at home. So let's get started. I think I broke my pad. So what are we going to do here? We've got our pad or paper or anything that you want to use. Doesn't have to be a pad. It can be a loose piece of paper. If you're using acrylics with this, you can use a canvas board. It's all cool. It's all good. You can also do this instead of watercolor paints or acrylic paints. You could do this with magic markers without a problem at all. So we're going to make a curved line. Lines are kind of those elements, important elements of art that are good to know and to see how we can manipulate them, use them to create beautiful artwork. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a curved kind of wiggly, squiggly, loopy line. We're going to do 2. I'm going to do one at the top and one at the bottom. Okay. And it's going to extend You could do this if you really wanted. You could do the loopy line as a border, and I'll show you that in a sec. Or you can do it with 2 lines going along. It's up to you. So, but I'm going to start. I'm going to do one more towards the top and one towards the bottom. I'm going to come in off the edge. I'm going to come around and make a loop. And maybe I'm just going to come around. There is no wrong way to do this. Okay? Whatever you want. Loopy, wiggly, squiggly. Some curved, loopy lines. Okay? We're going to do it again. We're going to do one on the bottom. This time I'm going to come in. I'm going to come in like there. Okay, mine are kind of lined up. You don't have to do that. I tried to fill in the space, but we don't want them too close because we're going to be painting some things on top, some things on bottom. So you want to give yourself a little space on the top, a little bit of space on the bottom, and space in the middle. Okay, so something that looks like that. You can also, if you really wanted to do a card or like a sign said Merry Christmas, you can kind of do a border. You can really go to town and do something like that. And you can have your lines, your lights going all around. But it's completely up to you on which way you want to do it. Okay? So, here we go. There is our little squiggles, okay? Because that's really all that it is. The light cord for the holidays is just a line, and we're doing some loop-de-loops. Our loops are not our lights. You could do that, but what we're going to do is we're going to kind of be a little bit playful. We're going to make these kind of like almond shapes up and above. I think the loops just add a little something. You can go on, there's loads of tutorials and pictures online where you can see these. So I'm going to use watercolors today. Okay, I'm going to use some watercolors. And I'm going to use a round brush. Okay, I'm going to use a round brush. I tried a larger medium one. I think the little blobs were a little bit too big, and I had some control issues. So I think I'm going to use a smaller, not too small, not a fine, but this is a 4 round. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. You can use a flat brush, but it doesn't matter. It's whatever you got. It's whatever you got. I'm going to start with my red. So I'm keeping my watercolor paints not too wet. Not too wet. I'm just adding a little bit of water. And I'm going to work in 3s. That is my method of doing randomness. So I'm going to find a spot, okay, wherever you want. And I'm going to make like an almond shape. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm just making an almond shape. It can be an oval, it can be a circle, it can be anything that you like your lights to be. Okay, so I just picked one spot. I like that my lights, I like the old-fashioned kinds. They're kind of fat at the bottom and they kind of come up to a point. I'm going to add another one. Maybe I'm going to add another one up top. See my shape? A little bit of an almond. Okay, and I'm going to come in there. They're not exactly the same size, and you know what? We're not gonna worry about that. This is fun. I mean, I hope it is. What's the point of doing art if it's not fun? And we're gonna kind of come in, and we're gonna do another almond shape. We did 3. You can do as many as you want, but remember, we're gonna slowly fill them up. I'm gonna use 4 colors. I'm gonna do red, green, blue, and yellow. You can do all red, you can do all green, you could do just red and green, you could do blue and yellow, you can do any colors you want, okay? And if there's variation in your paint, that's good. Don't worry about it. Meaning if it's not all the same solid red, it's a little soft in some spots, that's cool. Don't worry about it. We don't want to stress. This is not about stressing. Holidays are stressful enough. I'm going to go to my next color. And the way I do random colors, if I'm trying to make things random, is I work like it's hardly random. It's very, it's very well thought out. What I try to do is I try to spread colors around and I pick a number. I like odd, so I'll do like 3 or 5, and I'll do 1, 2, 3. I'll switch my color and I'll move it around 1, 2, 3 in different spots, and I'll repeat and I'll repeat. And if I go through all my colors, red, green, blue, and yellow, I'll repeat it again if I want more. Maybe I'll change the number. If I started with 5, but I don't have a lot of space, I'll go to 3. So we're just working in little clusters. We're kind of moving 2, 3 around. That's all. That's all. It's kind of fun. Some people like to work in one color. I like to go back and forth. I get bored easily. So I clean my brush and I'm going to green. Ooh, got a lot of dust. Anybody else cleaning for the holidays? I don't know. I usually clean around this time. Put 1 there. Maybe I'll put 1 coming down. Think about how you want your lights to show. This guy's a little chunky. That's all right. Sometimes they might have different shapes depending on how the lights are positioned, so it makes sense. And I think I'm going to put 1 more over here. Okay. If you get a big enough brush, the work of the shape is kind of done for you. If you like a lot of control and you want to make a nice thin line and fill it in with a thinner brush, that's okay too. Don't worry about it. A fat brush, if it's too big, I think there's different ways you can use it. You can just make a big blob, like a big dash. That might be easy. So I have 3 red, 3 green. What's our next color? Let's go to blue. Like I said, I'm keeping my paints kind of not too wet. I'm doing that also because I'm holding up my artwork. You're usually lying flat, and that's okay. You can create different shades or different tints in watercolor by adding more water to it. So if you want a dark green, just add very little water. And then let's say you want to add a lighter green somewhere else, add lots of water and you'll get a very soft green. But I'm keeping them all kind of the same color. Now I'm at my blue. I'm going to work the same way. Okay, same way. I'm going to do 3. 1, 2. Let's see, where do you think I should put my other one? I think I need something over here. Think about how you're going to use your space. Okay? You don't want big holes. I'm looking for a lot of balance. I want it kind of evenly spread out. Call that balance. If all our lights are here, kind of it's top heavy. So we call that balance. Balance. Think about spreading the colors around. I'm going to go to my yellow. My yellow is really very, very soft. I'm going to add very little water because I want a really dark yellow. So let's see. Maybe I'm going to come up here. Okay. Where else do you see a spot? What do you think over here? Let's add 1 over here. See? It doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay if they're a little wonky like mine. And where do you think? 1 over here? Let's do 1 over here. Okay. And wherever you put yours is okay. All right? Now, this becomes a big question in art. When are we done? When are we done? I think, what do you think? Should I add some more? Or do you think I have enough? I don't know. One of the cool things you can do with this after it's dried, you can take, if you have like an opaque watercolor white, you can kind of add a little glimpse on that. If you have an oil pastel, you can put a little bit of white on a certain edge to it, and that'll look like light reflects. But I'm keeping it a little simple today because I want to use it with the least amount of materials as possible. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add maybe 1 more bulb in each color. So let's see how that's going to look. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to clean my brush, and I'm going to go to my red. Well, maybe I'll come in down here. Oops, I think I need a little bit more water. If it's hard for you to get any paint on your paper, that means you didn't put enough water, right? One. Just one. Some of you say, hey, maybe put some more. Let's hold off. Let's see. Let's do it one at a time. We're not in a rush. I'm going to come back to my blue. Maybe this is an area where some nice blue will come in. Because we're going to add 4 in total, and that's going to fill this up. I'm going to come back to my green. Where do you think I need some green? You think over here? Kind of coming up. It's okay if he's near his other little green friend. Okay, just slowly adding to see where we need things filled. Now we have a yellow. I could add a yellow up here. I think I need some stuff here. So maybe I'll add a nice little yellow down here. Okay. There we go. Now another thing you can do is if you want to leave it plain like this one has fewer lights, this one has more. What we could do is we could use, we could put little dots on ours to give it a little bit of extra flash if you want. And I'm just using a little bit of red. And if you can see, it's very, 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 very subtle. Okay, you can make them bigger if you want. You can leave this step out. I'll make them a little bit bigger so you can kind of see it. I don't know, looks a little bit like a little pizzazz. Okay, and I'm just kind of coming in. I think it makes it look a little bit more festive. Maybe like a little, and you can do this with all your colors. So some I have a little bit bigger. Just kind of adding a little bit of boop, boop, boop around. Okay. I like to work in 3s, little clusters. But you don't have to. Okay. Oops. Technology. So I just added some little bit of lights, make it a little festive. You can leave it plain, or you can add some little lights. And you can add, if you like the red and green, you could add, like if we wanted to, we could add some little green dots if we want. If you think that takes away from it, don't do it. Or do a couple of ones. I just kind of like to add a little, I don't know, I think it gives a little pizzazz to it. And as I said, as it dries, that's something we could add a little something to it. Maybe we should try it. So let me walk over to see if my oil pastels are here. And yes, they are. You're going to need some type of, like I said, an opaque watercolor, oil pastel, something that when you work with white, a crayon, something a little thicker, chalk will work. But something that will lay on top of the paint, okay? So as you can see right here, we put like a little line to give it a little dimension and to look like there's a little bit of light reflecting. What I recommend is to wait till it's dry. Wait till it's dry. Mine are pretty dry because I didn't use a very wet watercolor. So I can kind of come in and just kind of do a little, see a little dash, just a little. You don't have to. Yeah, we should be thinking of how light reflects. You're correct. But we're just going for it today. We're just not worrying about how everything kind of really works. What I like about chalk or oil pastel, whoops, is that we can just kind of soften it a little bit. Make sure this is wet. Make sure it's dry. We're going to get a big mess on your hands. But it kind of gives it a little bit more of a realistic look to it. So it's always good. A white crayon won't blend like the chalk or the oil pastels will, but it should work. It should work and go on there. I think that is super duper cute. You could write a message. What I did on my other one was I wrote Happy Holidays. Go to the dollar store, get a nice certificate frame. You can frame it and display it on a table. You could hang it up anywhere, put it on your fridge, anywhere you like, I think it's kind of cute and simple, not too crazy, not too hard. We're too busy running around for everything, right? So that is our extra little lesson on your time, whenever you like, on how to make a simple doesn't always mean easy, simple holiday lights made with a loopy curved line and watercolor almond shape. So we're dealing with line and shape. Practice this, do this over and over again. If you want, as I said, you can do this as a border on a card. Let me show you what that might look like. So if we come over here, I think this is, and I would make them smaller. So let me bring this, sorry, as you get my ugly elbow. I would do these smaller. See how they're smaller? And I would work the same way. I'm kind of a creature of habit. This time I'm working with a bit higher number because I have more space to cover. So I'm working with 4. Okay, mine might be a little runny because I'm using a wetter paint. Okay, I'm working smaller because I want to make a message in the center. Whoops. That's what happens when you're working too fast. That's okay. We can use it as one of ours. Okay. So we have all the little lights. You can add as many as you want. You can add the little dots. And what you can do, this works really great for gift tags, is you can write your message in. So I'm going to write my message. How about Merry Christmas, right? Something like that. You don't have to write in script. I don't think there's too many people know how to write script anymore. That's how old I am. I think in script or cursive for us older friends. So, different variation of the original. This one I really like best, but this also works really well with markers. You want to make a simple card, take some cardstock, fold it in half, do your loop-de lines as a border, and then just come in with your little magic marker and make the little lights and fill in a message. And that is it, my friends. That's it. a cute little holiday lights painting or drawing, whatever you prefer, in my messy art room, which will hopefully look better the next time we're here. And I just want to wish everybody a wonderful, happy, and healthy holiday season. And I wish you all the best in the new year, which is approaching very soon. But hopefully you will get some dreams to come true this holiday season, whenever you celebrate or enjoy. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, Happy Solstice, whatever it is. I wish only good things for you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.